Okay, I got my last package in from France. I can't believe it. I didn't expect it until the weekend, and here it is. And we've got the entire automatic winding gear train is alive. It is all good to go. That's the next thing. I just need to put in this other screw. I need to hunt that down. And then it's putting in this automatic winding stuff. Then I need to flip it over and replace this winding pinion, which has some broken teeth on the other side. Then I can complete the calendar side. And then once I complete the calendar side, then I can deal with the chronograph module. But I want to see how far I can get today. So I'm hoping all the way. We're going to see. I got, what else did I get? There's that crystal. Crystal for it. That's pretty cool. I have my parts. I'm good to go. Gonna make it happen. Well, it arrived from France. I actually thought that it had only hit Denver today, this morning, and then I was like, yeah, there's no way it's coming today, which means it's not coming on Sunday, and Monday's a holiday, which means I'm not going to see it till Tuesday. But there it is. I just hope and pray that it is the right part, and in fact, it's the last part that I need to repair this watch. I just hope it's enough, because it would be awfully nice to get this assembled. So that's my hope. Let's cross our fingers and toes. And there it is. All of the main parts of the movement are together. The automatic winding works now. The only thing is this weight is kind of loose, like it needs to get staked again or something. I don't feel like really digging into that right now, but it's definitely going to be a problem. Maybe I will. I'm just so grateful to have the thing together. I don't feel like pulling it apart again. Okay, so there it is. If you look carefully at this wheel, that is the main sweep for the chronograph. You'll notice it's going around in circles. So there is the back of the movement completely assembled, and the front of the movement's completely assembled too. In theory, I can actually put the hands on this thing and put it, like, it's relatively close to being done because I've done almost all of it. So let's see. Would you believe it? I found more broken parts. See these? This is what's left of the original casing clamps. This is what they're supposed to look like because, again, thankfully, we never throw anything away, and I found 2 casing clamps, the correct ones. What in the world were they thinking? How do you even do that kind of damage? They must have hammered the movement out of the case or something. It's nuts. I've never seen anything like it, but thankfully, I've got the casing clamps, so let's keep pushing. So this probably is a shock, but it's Monday. So I got the part in on Saturday, and by the mail, and I spent another. Mail came mid-morning, and I was done assembling the watch right around a little after 8 p.m. So I put like 9 hours of work into it. It's the usual thing where, you go swimmingly on certain stuff, but then there's like a few little things that just kill your time, just eat your time up. The stem, I had 2 stems, 3 actually. One had been previously shortened. One was for a detachable crown, and then, but neither of those were long enough. So I actually had to get a stem extender, which I had, thankfully. You never, ever want to get rid of stuff like this. I don't even know how long I've had this. And you get these handy dandy stem extenders, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been able to get this done because I had to replace this crown with something else. Getting the hand set was a real issue. The main sweep hand tube was stretched out, so I just could not get it to seat, and I had to do some funky stuff in order to get it to hold. I'm not 100% sure about the bracelet, but it runs. I'm not sure how good the automatic winding is. I was going to put this on the cyclotron and test that. I just haven't yet. I'm sort of, kind of just letting my blood pressure drop from putting so much work into this thing. Boy, it's a big watch. But anyway, it's running nicely. Don't you think? Okay. Actually, let's stop this. One thing I forgot to check, because of the way that a Swiss chronograph works, is when you hit the start button, a lever moves and it drops basically a connecting column that pulls power from the main train and gives it to the chronograph module. So it's going to drop the amplitude some. I don't know what it's going to drop it to. Or it's not going to drop it at all. Hmm. It just, there's something inside it ran over. I'm not sure what's up with that. Let's see when it drops, when it pushes over the minute counter. Right now. Okay, the accuracy is great. The accuracy holds. And look at the amplitude. It pops right back. That's pretty impressive. It's one of the reasons on these Swiss chronographs I don't like using the chronographs, because it's, I always imagine that it's pulling all this power out of the thing and it's going to screw up the accuracy, but this is great. One more minute over. You can see a little bit of, there's that push. I'm extremely impressed. I am truly, truly impressed. Interesting. Okay, let's do a review. I don't think I need to demonstrate the numbers anymore. I think we're in a good place. I really am impressed, though. Okay, there it is. I ended up having to use, I got 2 new hands, but I ended up actually using the original hand over here, because the other one was brand new and I needed to really seat it, and I didn't have the correct movement holder for this. I could support it underneath, but I didn't want to try stressing it, and this hand just dropped on perfectly. That original sweep hand right there, it just would not stay put. I couldn't get it to stay on the pinion. It was just the hand tube was all loosened up. This is actually making me a little nervous, because this is going to be the first time that I've actually tested it from anything more than a little few bits past here. So let's see if it drops to top dead zero. Just like that. Cool. Look at the damage. Oh, look at that. And I have the, that's because I had to open it. Oh, look at that. I pinched the stupid crown, the case back gasket. Since I had to pull the case back, might as well show you the movement. So the only, I don't know, I'll keep looking for parts. This one, this lever still has, this is the stop lever here, and it has some surface corrosion on it, but it's not active anymore. I've calmed it down. But it's all there, and it's all complete. Oh, lovely movement, huh? Cool. Okay, now let me put the case back on properly. Okay, I figured that give sort of a sense of the size of this for those of you who are familiar with either of these two models. This is a big watch. It's a big watch. The Yachtman, that's a pretty big, serious chunk of funk, but this thing kind of puts it in its place. It's a large, heavy case with this extremely big visual element of the slide rule, just like so. Markings are a little faded, but it still looks good. In terms of pure functionality, it's awesome. I wish it had a quick set date. It does not have a quick set date. Unlike, Seiko's, which have quick set day and date, which I really, really like. This one you have to rock. You can't even go backwards, actually. You have to literally spin it forwards all the way to get to the date. That you have to keep rocking over midnight to do it. You can't rock back and forth over midnight. It doesn't work. So it's kind of like Rolex in that. Of the 70s, where you would have to, if it didn't have the quick set date, where you'd have to just keep rolling it forward and forward and forward. This isn't the correct bracelet for it, but this is a period bracelet. It's a Speidel, actually. It's Speidel Hong Kong. You can see that little crest there. I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on it yet. It's got these, these sprung ends and everything else like that. I want to see if there's a strap that might look a little better for it. I need to realign that hand a little bit. I am bummed. This crystal came in with storage marks on it. See those scratches? It came like that. And it's supposed to be a new crystal. It's a little annoying. I need to polish it. But I finally got all the parts. It's bananas how much work I put into this thing. I mean, the nice thing is I bought this in a lot of watches, group of 3 watches, one other plus these 2. And I was able to basically get this one for free because I sold one of the other watches after I'd gone through and serviced it and everything, and this thing was in pieces, obviously, as you might remember. So I entered into this with having, no real investment in it. I think I probably spent $800 or $900 in parts to get this thing up, not counting my labor to bring this thing back. But still, that's less than one costs. If you were determined to go out and get one. Look at the hackery on that case. Talk about a labor of love. What was I thinking? But it's a beautiful watch. And I'm glad to have brought it back to life. What's the size on this thing? It's one of the things I was going to look for. Actually, I should come in. How can I do it? .45 millimeters wide. That's crazy. A 6309 diver is 43 millimeters. 15.75 thick. .47 long. It's got 22 millimeter lugs. .21.72. I'm using 22 millimeter spring bars in it. 21.72. A little under 22 millimeters. I don't know. This might look good on a leather strap, more so than this. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. The loom is completely dead. This old loom, it doesn't give anything. Even this old Seiko loom will give me a little bit of glow for a little while. This stuff is just dead. So that's it. I gotta polish the crystal up, but for the major items, it's done. I'm super surprised that the chronograph doesn't add any drag to it. That's just bananas to me. Well, that's about it, I guess. I'm gonna put this to one side for right now and finish this video, but then I might look for straps. Maybe I should dig some straps out. Okay, I made a change, and this should be it for now. I went back to that first slat bar type bracelet that I had originally chosen. It's a generic 100% stainless steel. It's vintage. I guess it's from the 70s. So it looks right. I mean, it's got these expando ends, which I'm going to do my best to ignore. But it's a brand new bracelet, so vintage or not. There we go. What do we think? We in favor? Does that work? I think that actually works. I think that works pretty well. Big box crystal on the thing. Well, I finally have my Heuer calculator after, without meaning to, wishing that I owned one years ago. And I never thought I would own one. And here we are. And it's a very, very Klein acquisition that you get the junker and you build it back up. Because you're trying to squeeze get what you can, get more bang for the buck, putting in your own labor versus putting the money to just buy a super nice one. So it's a very, 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 to me, it's a very Klein thing to do all this crazy work to get something so broken back in living again. My dad everything would be repaired. Nothing would be replaced. Didn't matter what it was. He would repair it, and that was how we did it. And then a little bit of that, I think, I got a bit of that, and it's useful because I get to do things like own a Heuer calculator watch that I did not pay, retail price for. Unless, of course, you factor in my labor. In which case, maybe, but who cares? It's done, right? So that's it. Thank you so much for coming on this journey of discovery. Heuer calculator watch. 166330, I think. Beautiful. Okay, thank you so very much.